Hello, welcome to this week's How's the Market, Pensacola. Well, we're coming up on the last week of January 2021, and the winner of the internet last week, I think, was Bernie Sanders. We've seen the little guy everywhere. If you look here, he pops up every once in a while. It's funny, that guy just kind of popped up everywhere. I don't think he meant to, but he really did look like he was, at the inauguration, looked like he was out running errands, maybe, and just was annoyed with the fact he had to be there, and the internet lost their mind over that. What I really wanted to bring this up, because I told you I would not talk politics on this show, and so I'm not. I'm really wanting to bring up a business sense. What I thought was funny is a byproduct, those famous mittens, right? These right here. Yeah, those famous mittens. They are now sold out. The company that makes them announced a couple of days after Bernie blew up here, that they've sold out. They're trying to make more to meet demand, but they're sold out. And it is a great example of supply versus demand. It's no different than what we're facing right now in real estate in our area. There is not as much supply. I don't have as many mittens, but boy, the demand is sky high. Everybody wanted those. I really do think I may be Bernie Sanders for Halloween this year, but we'll figure that out. I've got to figure out how I'm going to get some mittens, and I'm assuming maybe in July I can pull that off. And I wonder how many people were thinking maybe in July they can pull off that house. I don't know. I'm seeing some upticks in some price points. You'll see that here in Escambia County in just a minute, but we're still definitely out of mittens, if you will. There are very, very few out there. So let's take a look at our county. Let me actually tie all this into real estate. Let's go. All right, if you've ever seen the show, I always start off with this slide right here. It says if we have between 6 and 7 months worth of inventory, we have what's called a neutral market. Anything greater than 7 months is considered a buyer's market. Anything less than 6 months is considered a seller's market. What the slide does not say. Anything greater than 9 months is considered a hyper buyer's market. Anything less than 3 months is considered a hyper seller's market. So let's take a look at our first county, and we're going to start over here at Escambia County again. And as you look, everything under 700,000 is a hyper seller's market. Now, one of the things I wanted to bring up is it looks like luxury is adding inventory because this has been slowly creeping up every week. Last week it was in the high fours, or I think 4.6 or 4.7 months worth of inventory. Now it's 5.2. So your luxury is starting to pick back up. I'm also seeing some pockets like 500 to 550. Under our definition is still considered a hyper seller's market, but it's 2.9 months. So it's almost just a seller's. Now, what does that mean? It means when we go to price things, you can push quite a bit in this 200 to 250 because there's 0.5. There's 0.5 months worth of inventory. If I don't get new houses, I'm out of houses by Halloween. Not Halloween, by Valentine's. Excuse me. I was talking about the mittens again. Yeah, whatever. By Valentine's. If I don't get new inventory, I've only got 58 active houses there. 150 to 200, I got 55. I've got some coming on in these price points. Believe it or not, yeah, I've got 2 coming soon that I will add to this February 1st or the first week of February. We're getting photos and stuff that we need to get done. So these price points are still ridiculously low inventory. But as you start to get a little higher, we're starting to see a slight market shift. Now, if you're in that 500 to 550 range, can we still push the price some? Sure, we can push the price some right now. If you're in that 700,000 plus, can we continue to push the price as high as we could have 2 months ago, 3 months ago, 4 months ago? Probably not, because you're creeping up on a neutral market. It is a seller's, but it's just slightly a seller's. So we're actually seeing one price point start to make that pendulum swing. And we knew that spring inventory would bring up some, but you'll see headlines that say inventory, and I could write headlines that said inventory at the 250 to 300,000 mark doubles. prices are going to fall. Now, all that is a clickbait ad, right? So I know that 250 to 300, and we know this together because we watch this show every week, 250 to 300,000, we know that was 0.6 back in December. All right, I think it was December or November, it was 0.6 months. So it really has doubled. So if I wanted to go write an article that made people think that the sky is falling, I could go out and say, hey, real estate supply doubles. Prices must fall. Okay, I had one house for sale. Now I have two. That does justify that ad. Real estate price or real estate supply did double. Do you really think that prices are going to fall? No. So what a lot of your ads you're seeing out there right now are doing, because I'm a marketer, that's what I do. Everybody thinks that you're in real estate, and I understand finance, and I try and teach finance, I try and teach real estate, but it comes down to it, I'm a marketer, and I study marketing all the time. So when you see the Zillows, the Trulias writing these articles, it's like, hey, supply has doubled year over year. Yeah, okay, well, doubled from what, 1 to 2? That doesn't mean prices are going to go down. Just because one thing happened, and when you start playing statistics inside of percentages, it's real easy to make the numbers say what you want them to say. So be very, very careful. That's why I really want you to watch this show. As you see this, it's one of the reasons I bring this show out every week, because I want people to understand, hey, here are the numbers, the real numbers. You derive what you need to from them, but don't let someone else say, this is what this means. No, here are your raw numbers. I try and give you some articulation behind what these numbers are, but that's why I physically show the numbers, because numbers don't lie. I'm here to tell you that buyers will lie and sellers will lie. Numbers don't lie. Here are the numbers. So, sorry that little tangent there. I seen some headlines this morning that kind of made me mad. Let's jump over to Santa Rosa County. Santa Rosa County is the same it's been for 6 months. There is nothing between 0 and 50,000. Not even a lot. Okay, we've got one off market, a couple of sales. We don't even have anything pending anymore. So we had some stuff pending. There's nothing there. If you got a lot, like a little lot, and you want to go $20,000, $30,000, and that's what it's worth, you can probably sell that fairly quickly. Everything else still a hyper seller's market. We don't have anything creeping up to just the seller's market. The only thing that would come close is the 450 to 500. We've got 2.1 months worth of inventory, but even your luxury 700,000 plus is 2 months worth of inventory in Santa Rosa County. So Santa Rosa County, the entire county, is yet again 100% hyper sellers market. We are out of mittens. We're out of Bernie Sanders mittens. So if you've got some mittens that you want to sell, now would be a good time, because you can probably get a better price for them. I've seen some people buy up blocks of those mittens, and then they popped up on eBay for about double and triple what they paid for it. They're flipping Bernie Sanders mittens. I can respect the hustle. I can respect the hustle, and I don't think that's price gouging, just because that's a very desired item right now. That is just called a supply and demand. If we're talking about a natural disaster and gas prices skyrocketing and going off the same logic, hey, that's supply and demand. No, the supply is there. You just are having trouble getting into it, and that's price gouging because of a natural disaster. That's different. That's different than flat-out capitalism. Capitalism says, hey, this desire. We don't need the Bernie Sanders mittens. You might need gas to get to work, but you don't need the Bernie Sanders mittens. But people will pay extra for them. No different than our toilet paper runs. Some of the things of toilet paper I saw on eBay were cracking me up. It's like 12 rolls of toilet paper for $100, and they were selling them. Anyways, I digress. That's our numbers this week. If you're looking at doing anything in real estate in the next 12 months, give me a call. I got some folks right now talking to me about August. I've got one that called me yesterday wanting to talk about January 2022 because they're military and they know what they're... So literally, we are building a plan for the next year to set them up to figure out exactly what they want to do. I am wanting to debunk this whole thought process. We're going to see a bunch of foreclosures. I've been saying that pretty much every week now. I need to debunk that. We're not going to see a bunch of foreclosures. Will we see a small uptick? Yes. If you were coming out of forbearance and you do not know your options, call me. I was so thankful that the show I had a call last week was a new customer, client, what have you, called me, said, listen, we've got 2 more months left on our forbearance. We can't make any mortgage payments. You know, we basically lost our job. We're looking for a new one, but what do we do? We're just going to have to walk away from the house. And I looked, and the house had $80,000 worth of equity in it. Why in the world would you walk away from that? Especially since it's at one of these price points that are drastically low. And people are looking. Nice place, too. She said, so I don't have to walk away? I'm like, well, you either can refinance, but if we don't have income, refinance may be a little difficult. But why don't we look at just liquidating and then find a different place? If I can put $70,000, $80,000 in your pocket, would that set things up a little differently for the job? Absolutely. That was life-changing. That's what I'm afraid of. I'm afraid people are just going to walk away from equity because they don't know better. Please, I beg you, call me. I've walked away from a property. I know what it feels like. I've been there. I owned a mortgage company in 2008. You know, when mortgages went away and they were absolute evil, I went from making quite a bit of money to not making any. I had to walk away from my home. I know what it feels like. So I can go through all the options. And, you know, there have been one, walk away was like, hey, that might be a real option for you. They had 5 loans on the house. The house was so far upside down. We talked about a short sale, and that we're going to discuss that later. But, man, there's just, do not let a foreclosure happen if you come out of this forbearance. Just don't, please, please, please. If you're seeing this, call me. Shoot me a text. Let's talk. Let's just discuss things. Because, A, you probably have more equity in the property than you think. And B, even if you are upside down, there are options that are drastically better than a foreclosure. But on a macro level, I do not see a massive foreclosure crisis just because there are going to be people that understand they've got equity here and they're going to sell. If you looked at these in 2007, 2006, I wasn't doing the show then. I should have been so I could document that. But if you looked at these levels, some of these price points were at 36 and 42 months inventory. Imagine that. I can't even get a month's inventory at 100 to 150,000 right now, but it was at 36 months at one point. So when I say that real estate sometimes is cyclical, it is. Do I see us getting any devaluation or depreciation this year? Nope. There's not any economic data that points to that. Do I think it's going to slow? Are we not going to get the 8% or 7% we got last year? Probably. It's going to be more like 3 to 4 to 5%. But do I still think we're going to have appreciation this year? I do. In our Gulf Coast area, I do. I just do. Every economic data points to that. So there's that. I want to get off that tangent as well. All right. That's it. I'm going to call it because the show's already at 13, 14 minutes, and I definitely try and keep it under 15. I try and keep it under 10, but I haven't been able to do that lately. Thanks for watching. Have a great week.
I'm a man on a mission.
My mission is to help people break through all the noise out there and
Don't need no permission.
I want to help you get to actual truth. Don't you just want the truth?